Hello and welcome back to Camp Ash. We will be continuing with the Dale route. So hopefully you at least skimmed through the Janice route, if nothing else. You saw that basically Chip and Janice were a couple. They accidentally took out someone on the road. That someone should be very obvious, but come on. If you read Echo, you know who that someone is. And shenanigans ensue. They're having crises of faith, and their conscience won't let them really deal with it. But yeah. Anyways, now we're going to be dealing with Dale. If you recall, Dale is Chip's male best friend. And I say that because technically Janice is And if you saw the Janice route, you more or less know that Dale has a thing for Chip. So chances are that's how things are gonna go. Anyways, so yeah, you have that to look forward to. Anywho, from what I saw after a quick skim, it's gonna be a similar thing with some of the visual novels that have like different routes but are following the same sort of the same sort of path, where certain things are going to happen the same, but you're going to be seeing them through different characters, okay? So yeah. Anywho, so without further ado, let us begin Dale's route. Also, I'm going to be starting immediately from where you get to pick like the tarot card part, but certain characters I will backtrack a little, but not this one. Anyways, so yeah, Dale. Like I said, Dale. The Lovers. The Lovers. If I remember correctly, it represents being faced with a choice and having to make the right one. About seeing the truth through the unknown. Sounds kind of odd for the name. Sometimes it's about the message, like which choice of lovers will lead you down the path that's better for you. Do you feel like you've made all the right choices up until now, Chip? The webbing in my paw starts to feel like it's burning. I think so. I'm alive and living happily with my friends and Janice, which is a lot more than most people who live in Echo can say. Well, as long as you think that you're on the right path. Do I really know what I want lately? Hey lazy asses, everything is ready out here. Dale practically leaps from the kitchen, hustling over with the food. Oh, that was fun. Thanks for playing, Chip. Yeah, that was fun. Trisha puts away the cards, wrapping them in their silk confines, and back into the tin. Outside, Duke has lit a raging bonfire in the stone pit. Its warmth washes across me, the light snipping away at the darkness of the night. Everything is ready to start cooking, and we're ready to get token. Ernesto drops off a bag of reefers on a chair. Feel free to use everything in there. Have a second bag for later, when we gotta be more discreet. Everyone except for Trisha and Miriam takes a blunt. Duke and Ernesto pull out their lighters for everyone. I take a deep drag on mine, holding the smoke in to swirl around in my lungs for a few seconds. I exhale through my nose, watching the white smoke mix and swirl with the ash from the bonfire. Dale sets up a table with hot dog buns and condiments, while Ernesto and Duke drag the ice chest out from Wickenburg's cabin. I help bring out some chairs, and before long, we're sitting together in the heat of the fire, buzzed, faded, and full from delicious food. Everything said and done, today really was perfect in the end. A few hours pass and the bonfire starts to die down. Once it gets too cold, we smother it with a nearby hose hookup and retreat back into Wickenburg's cabin. I think that I'm gonna pass out. We should all probably head to bed soon. No fair, we haven't played any games yet. We did that tarot reading earlier. That doesn't count. It was only a few of us. Well, what do you have in mind? I'm not sure. You guys never invite me to stuff like this. Well, what's some stuff that you guys would do when you hang out? It was all shitty excuses to drink or get high, but we're all pretty messed up already. Well, there was one that we used to play. Spin the bottle. That sounds like fun. Yeah, when we were in middle school, I think. That's a bit different, now that we're not kids anymore. And Jen and I are dating. Boo, you whores. Someone cut her off next time. You guys are kinda whores. Why don't we make it more interesting then? And how will we do that? Well, it already is kinda spicy cause Janice and Chip are together. So if they join in and get picked, it'll be a bit wilder. So first rule, they have to play to keep things interesting. Janice looks at me and smiles. We don't have to if you don't want to, babe. You know, it might be a bit of a hoot that way. Let's hear your other rules. And second, and probably the most important rule, is we kiss whoever the bottle lands on, no redos or the closest person of the opposite sex. What? Are you some kind of perv? I've been trying to tell you the wolf is a fag. Sounds like fun. Jan? I'm with Janice. We might get to see two big, strong boys kiss. And what's a little lipstick between friends if it lands on us? What's your angle here, wolf? Don't you want to see two babes make out? Well, yeah, but I don't want to kiss a dude or see two dudes kissing. And that's what makes it interesting. They're not gonna do it if we don't get involved ourselves. That's for sure. So why not take a gamble? Live on the edge a little. I'm in. If Chip's in, of course. I'm not sure. Sounds worth the risk to me. What the hell? I do like to gamble. I guess if everyone else wants to. Fuck. If it's just me saying no, I'll do it then. Alright, it's settled. Ernesto downs the beer bottle in his paw, wiping his muzzle in exaggeration after it's empty. Let's get in a circle then. We maneuver onto an open space on the floor, sitting cross-legged in a circle formation. Who's gonna go first? I got this. Ernesto spins the bottle as fast as he can, the container wobbling and howling from its opening. The bottle begins to slow, wobbling less and less, and it creaks along the floorboards. Before coming to a dead stop, Tip unequivocally pointing at Dale. The otter's face turns red as Ernesto's fur, the wolf's eyebrows practically jumping off his face. Oh my god, I knew that I was gonna be worth it. Wait. A deal's a deal, bub. Ernesto leans over the circle, putting a paw down to steady himself as his muzzle meets Dale's. My whiskers twitch as I see theirs rub against each other as their mouths meet. Oh god, I knew I was gonna get stuck with something like this. Janice and Trisha are both watching, fully enraptured. I take a long swig of my beer. Ernesto pulls away, returning to a seat. That wasn't so bad, was it, Nutria? Yeah, not that bad. Dale twitches his tail. Hopefully we get to see some chicks making out to make up for it. Who's next? Duke spins the bottle without waiting for anyone to speak up. I just want this over with. The bottle starts to slow down much faster this time. It stabilizes more and more, barely inching its way past me and landing on Janice. You're not gonna beat my ass for kissing your girl, Chip. Janice interrupts him, leaning across from me to get to the weasel seated on the other side of me. They kiss deeply, right in front of my face for a few seconds, their muzzles parting for some tongue action. They pull away just as my tail starts to thump. He better not. We both agreed to play. Oh shit, dude. I see what you put up with, her crazy ass. Janice flicks him on the nose, and the weasel buckles under the light, albeit sharp pain. Me next. Trisha takes the bottle in her paws and spins it against the floorboards. The bottle spins for a few seconds, eventually landing on Miriam. Alright, chicks, and a cougar show. You're being specious again, Duke. Well, at least I got to see the two big guys make out for a bit. Miriam finishes her beer as Trisha gently leans forwards in the circle. The Gila leans on both of her paws, bracing herself against Trisha's softer face. The two meet, mouths turning sideways and opening to accommodate the size difference. Oh wow, that's pretty hot. Hell yeah. The pair make out for another half minute. It's hard to look away fully. Who's next? Chip. He hasn't got to kiss anyone yet. My paw reaches for the bottle, the cuts and bruises on my webbing in full view. Go ahead, babe. I spin it as fast as I can, not wanting to look like I made it land on anyone in particular. My eyes are glued to the tip as it spins ever slower on the floor. I reach for my beer, but it's long empty. The bottle starts to slow, still fully centered on the circle, not leaning any which way. Until it is on its final breath, its movement coming to an end. Until it lands pointed at Dale. Oh my. Oh, this is gonna be awkward at work. I lean over the circle towards Dale, both my paws supporting my body. Our maws open as I get close, whiskers touching, just like earlier, and I taste my best friend for the first time. And the lights cut out, sending the room into a total darkness. Ah! A few screams ring out in the darkness. What the fuck? We all scramble on the floor, tripping over each other in the dark as we try to get to our feet. Ouch! Shit, someone stepped on my tail. Everybody calm down, I have a lantern on my belt. We all stop panicking for a moment as the sound of Ernesto's belt rings in the darkness. Hurry up! Ernesto flicks his lantern on, filling the cabin with just enough light for us to see each other. Did someone hit the lights? We were all sitting down here, there's no way. Someone should check the breakers. What if we're not alone? Is there any other staff? Maybe the lights are on a timer. It's past midnight, isn't it? Before anything else, let's grab more flashlights and lanterns. We left them all together on one of the tables. We each take a lantern or flashlight from the pile. I'm going to go check on the breakers. They should be on the outside of this building. If not, I'll be tied down to either the maintenance shed or the assembly hall. Hey, don't go out there by yourself. What if someone's out there? We should be alone up here. Besides, he'll be fine on his own. No way. Enough weird shit has happened today. We're not sending someone by themselves. But it's literally my job. But something strange is happening. We don't know that for sure. What are you talking about? There was something wrong with the road, Trisha. You yourself said it. It doesn't make sense how we got so lost with how big this mountain range is. But we don't know that we just didn't get lost. Nothing bad has happened to us. No one is injured or missing. Yet. This could have just been the breakers tripping, which I need to go check still. Why would the breakers trip? We barely have anyone here, and we weren't running extra equipment. Even the other buildings with electricity are all currently off. Well, we won't know unless we check. Duke, go with him. If there's someone out there, they won't think about hurting the strongest two guys we have. Me and Chip are plenty strong. And that's why you're staying here, to protect us ladies. Miriam rolls her eyes. Oh, okay. Janice grabs my arm, holding me tight. I'm scared, Chip. We'll be right back. Let's go, Weasel. Ernesto and Duke head out through the front door, closing it behind them. I'm gonna go find the light switch. The sheep walks around the perimeter of the room with a flashlight for a bit, stumbling around for the switch. Here it is. Trisha pauses for a few seconds. The switch. They're flipped off. She flips the switches back and forth a few times. The lights don't go back on. So there's something else wrong, but... Someone flipped the lights. No one else should be here. We're the only staff. Henry and the nurse won't be back till tomorrow. Maybe we bumped it in the dark? But no one got up, and we were way too far from it. Chip. Dale and I are here, babe. We won't let anyone get hurt. I still don't like this. Let's just wait for them to get back. Should we grab some weapons? There's probably a hunting rifle by the looks of it. You can shoot, right, Chip? Definitely, but I don't think that we need to pull out a gun just yet. Chip, you should get it. Someone was in the room with us. We don't know that for sure, Jan. Let's just wait for Ernesto and Duke to get back. Should we try to find the gun just in case we need it? Let's not go through Henry's things while he's not here. Some time goes by without much talking, the wait for Ernesto and Duke making us too anxious for much else. Dale stands up from his seat on the couch. Maybe we should go look for them? Yeah, I'm starting to get worried. We should stay here like we agreed upon. But I'm still worried about them. That's fine. We just need to stay calm in case... Miriam pauses. In case what, Miriam? In case we're all gonna die here? There's an awkward pause between the two. I'm sorry. I'm just scared. No need to apologize, Jan. Things are tense right now. The front door opens with a loud creak. Ah! Ernesto and Duke walk in through the door. What's wrong? You just scared her is all. I take it no luck on the power? No, sorry. We found the breakers on at the assembly hall and they were tripped, but resetting them didn't seem to bring the power back. There must be a problem with the power lines along the mountain. Shit, do you think that they will close us down? Do we need power to cook? It might be annoying, but I'll be able to get everything going without it. Nothing perishable either. There's a fridge for medicine that needs to be kept cold in the nurse's station, but it has its own generator. The nurse will bring the medicine itself when she gets here, so it will be fine until then. There's enough fuel to keep the generators going for another month. It should be taken care of before the kids arrive, if it's down to power line. Let's head to bed. My buzz is long gone. It's gonna take longer to get everything done without electricity too. I want to stay here, together with everyone. I have a feeling that if Henry catches us co-editing up, he's gonna flip. He's already threatened us with no pay once. I don't want to add on to that. Duke's right. Well, what if we stay here and the boys go to their cabins? There's only one door for the staff cabins and they lock. The doors here don't lock? There's more than one? Yeah, there's 3. Only the master key locks and unlocks the doors here. If we get separated, it could be really bad. I don't think that it even unlocks all the doors here. I'm pretty sure only Henry has the key to his room too. If you're that scared, we can take some furniture from here and barricade the door in addition to locking it. Okay. Chip, I love you. I love you too, babe. The staff cabins are less than 200 feet away from each other. Just holler on and we'll come running. We'll be there. We gather our luggage and head outside. We agree to meet back at the mess hall when the sun is up and head our separate ways to the staff cabins. Ernesto unlocks the door and we head inside. Inside it's dusty but clean. A table with 2 chairs, a couch, and lockers make a small living room. The 2 sets of 2 double beds lined up against the opposite wall make up the bedroom in the single-room cabin. Not as much privacy that I was hoping for, especially seeing how we're all staff and all. At least it isn't bunk beds. Hopefully the staff showers and restrooms are better. We settle in, unpacking our things and choosing a bed. I'm so beat. Been up almost 20 hours at this point and I drove all day. Duke takes off his shirt, practically belly flopping onto his bed immediately after. Ernesto strips down to his underwear and sits on his bed. We should probably take a shower. But it's gonna smell like otter anyway, so it's not gonna help much. Hey! Don't bother. Plus, he's probably right anyways. I take off my shirt, too tired to undo my shorts. Dale looks around, a warm blush visible through his fur. He takes off his shirt and pants. but quickly pulls on a red tank top. Aren't you hot? I just feel more comfortable with it on. Dale manages to get underneath his blankets before rolling onto his stomach. I turn off a lantern from the table, the room falling into darkness, and take off my shorts then. Easier to rearrange myself when no one's looking. I'll just sleep like this. It's just us guys here anyways. I'm gonna knock out now. Hope this hangover isn't too bad. I hear them turning in their beds as their sheets ruffle. It's quiet now, and I feel alone. My sleep is deep and untroubled, practically passing out the moment that my head hits the pillow. I didn't dream of anything. Light filters through the windows as the sound of Ernesto rummaging through his bags wakes me up. Wake up, Nutria. We have to get the day going. My paw grabs my head, thankful that the hangover isn't as bad as it could have been. Dale is awake too, already changed for the day. Can you get Duke up, Chip? I'm afraid that he's in a snap if he's feeling torn up from last night still. I get up out of bed and walk over to Duke's bed, the weasel snoring peacefully in his sleep. Hey, bud. It's time to get up. I move a paw to gently tap him on the shoulder. What? Duke's head fur is frazzled and smashed from being slept on, his face contorted into a deep exhaustion still. We gotta get going for the day. Still want to get paid, don't ya? Duke grumbles, sitting up on his elbows. He looks around the room a few times, eyeing me and Ernesto. Let's get going then. The weasel stumbles out of the bed and grabs a pile of his clothes from his bag, just as Ernesto steps towards the door with his clothes. Hey, I was gonna go shower. Well, so was I. Duke snaps towards Dale. Dale. Dale awkwardly turns towards the weasel. You showered already, yeah? Dale nods. Are there separate stalls or is it just as open as this? There are 4 shower heads around a central drain, so not really any privacy at all. Tsk. I don't want to see her, Wolf, so wait for me to finish. Why? You afraid that you like what you see? Why you Nope. We are not fighting this early in the morning. Just go separately. Ernesto, just wait here with me and Dale. It's not worth it. I don't think that we should go alone anywhere still. Please. It's the morning. Do you think anyone is still going to be fucking with us? It was the middle of the afternoon when that weird shit up the mountain started. Tsk. Let's split up in pairs now and meet at the mess hall for breakfast with everyone else after. Sounds like a plan. You two just go on together. I'll stay with Dale and take one afterwards. Just turn around if you don't want to see each other's. I gotta go get breakfast going with Jan if we want to eat though. Then let's all go together. Great, one big sausage fest. Te daré un chorizo gordo. We make it to the showers, luckily with no sign of the ladies around. Walking inside, we're met with a small hallway with cubicles holding clean towels and bars of soap. Dale turns around as the rest of us strip. We leave our clothes in the piles of the floor. I'll just wait right here. It's too creepy to go outside by myself. How'd you take a shower earlier by yourself then? I wasn't thinking about it too much. Duke exhales through his nose loudly. Oh, Chip. Dale fumbles with his pocket for a second before revealing a small cardboard box of soap. Here's some other soap, so you're not stuck in there scrubbing for ages. Thanks, man. Ernesto, Duke, and I head into the shower room. It's a tiled floor with the short wall making up the men's side. The women's side is separated by an extremely tall wall, though it isn't flush with the roof. Guess they don't want any staff hanky-panky in the shower. A single faucet with 4 shower heads sits in the middle of the shower room. Let's just get this over with. Duke heads in first and starts the shower head. Ernesto walks in next, taking the shower head directly across from the weasel, leaving me sandwiched between the two. It doesn't take me too long to shower, Dale's extra strength soap cutting through my oily fur with ease. Washing my back is a little awkward with an audience. My short arms have to contort, pushing my midriff forward awkwardly. which doesn't stop my eyes from wandering to Duke's junk for a second. Just checking in on my friend is all. Definitely not something that I haven't seen before in countless other after-practice showers. He's not the thickest, well soft, but after a couple of drunken nights pissed together in the desert, I know he's definitely a grower. My god. We all finish around the same time. The other pair are left stranded together to wring the water out of their fur while the wall dryer is down. Guess there's something good about being an otter sometimes. I meet Dale in the hallway after drying off enough. He's awkwardly staring at the entrance. It doesn't take too long for me to dry off enough to put my shorts on. I gotta drop off my clothes real quick and grab some shirts back at our cabin. No problem. We make the short trip back to the staff cabins. Maybe I should have just went in my underwear. Would have been faster. I'm sure you and Jan wouldn't mind. What do you mean by that, Chip? Huh? He's never acted like that before. He usually just rolls with his banter. Well, we hang out in our underwear all the time. Hell, for 2 days in a row before this trip practically. I just think everyone else would be uncomfortable, especially if you haven't showered. You'll be extra musky. I managed to find my shirts after some fumbling around. I guess that's true. I put the dirty clothes next to my bags. I know you gotta be up earlier than us to cook, but it's kinda odd that you were the one worried about not separating and you went off to shower without us. I have a feeling that you just didn't forget, Dale. Well, I'm just embarrassed. I do my best to not bring that up, that I've noticed his underwear is definitely having the bigger bulge between all of us, so there's nothing to be embarrassed about. How come, big guy? I walk over to him, putting a paw on his shoulder. He glances down at me for a second. Just my weight is all. I know you don't mind, but Duke is always being mean, and I don't know how Ernesto feels about it. It's why I put on that shirt last night. It seems like Ernesto liked you enough last night. Oh please, don't bring that up. It was so embarrassing. Were you embarrassed when I kissed you? No. Of course not, Bronson. He looked at me directly, eyes wide and sincere. I turn away, blush forming on my face. Dale? He doesn't say anything back. Well, then I think that it's safe to say Ernesto doesn't care, cause it was his idea anyway. And who cares what Duke thinks? There were some big guys on the football team in high school with him, and there's definitely some now in Peyton. He's an ass anyways. You shouldn't listen to what he says. I guess that's true. You don't gotta be embarrassed about your extra weight, dude. People always think otters are supposed to be skinny and all thin because we're swimmers, but it just means that you're better at ottering than the rest of us. We gotta stay nice and warm in the water. Yeah, you're right. Thanks, man. Dale pats my back a few times with his large webbed paw. I really appreciate the kind words. I finish with my clothes and we walk back out into the cool morning air. The sun is barely over the horizon, the grass still wet with dew as we start to make our way towards the dining hall. You think Jan's okay with the kiss? I rub the back of my head with my paw. I'm pretty sure she is. It was her idea to play anyways, and she probably forgot about it after the power went out too. I hope it doesn't make anything awkward at work. I pat his shoulder a few times. I wouldn't worry about that, dude. We make it to the mess hall without any more conversation. Janice is there when we arrive. Dale jumps behind the counter to help her prepare. Things are a bit slow going without the power, but the two manage so well that I don't feel the need to help out. Trisha and Miriam are at the table closest to the counter kitchen, with Duke and Ernesto next to them. There's more than enough room for everyone at the same table. I take a seat with them and join the larger group. How'd you boys sleep? It wasn't that bad. Except for the otter smell. We all kinda passed out, long day and all. Must have been nice. Janice wanted to be comfortable, so we just had to barricade the door is all. But it took an hour after she was happy with it. It wasn't that hard. She didn't make you carry the heaviest things. Or take it all down in the morning. That sounds dangerous if there was a fire. How early did you all get up? We didn't see or hear any of y'all this morning when we were getting ready. We talked to Dale. The three of us made it to the shower about the same time that he did. I'm surprised you guys let Dale go by himself. He went without telling any of us. Well, it's been light for a couple of hours now, so I'm kinda surprised that it took this long to start helping Jen out. Shouldn't Henry be back by now then? What do you mean? Well, he said that he wasn't gonna drive back last night. It was too dark. If he was so focused on being here and making sure that everything was ready, don't you think that him and the nurse would have been back as soon as possible? It's even more light in the city earlier too. The mountain hides a lot of the sun from hitting us. Early sunset and late sunrise. Do you guys think that they're okay? Maybe the road is still weird. If anyone knows the way up and down the mountain, it would be him. There must be something wrong then. Do you mean like his car or the mountain? Breakfast is served. Dale drops the large platter of food in the center of the table. The conversation stops, everyone too tired and slightly hungover to resist the hearty breakfast. Enjoy, everyone. Janice brings plates and utensils, and we all grab bits of food. They even remember to cook extra portions of veggies for Trisha. Muchas gracias. Ernesto grabs the extra large helping of sausage. How'd you guys get meat with the fridges down? There's a... Dale interrupts himself with a large bite. He continues talking with his mouth full. Freezer that. More munching sounds. And the rest of the words are intelligible. There's a small gas-powered freezer. It keeps everything cold without needing electricity, and I'm pretty sure that it's a backup. Henry must have turned it on a few days ago when he arrived and placed a fair bit of perishables in it. Should we save it for the campers? There's not enough food to feed all of them with no electricity from it. If it doesn't get fixed, that will be the least of our worries. Dale swallows with a loud gulp. There's enough non-perishables to last all of them to the end, though I'm sure that it will get bland if that's what everyone has to eat the whole time. Maybe we can throw a giant barbecue if the rest of the meat starts to go bad. Have another party like last night. Trisha grabs her head, moaning in a clearly exaggerated manner. Oh, I don't want to think about last night. My head is still pounding. Everyone laughs. We're just trying to get you ready for university life. Private school kids like to party hard. You didn't drink that much, Trisha. But I haven't drunk before. She slaps down her forehead to the table, narrowly missing her plate. Trisha lets out a pathetic whine. Miriam pats her head a few times while Janice shakes her head in the negative a few times. This food is fucking good, Janice. Duke says it as he takes a large bit of bacon. Oh, okay. Wow. She takes a second to process the compliment. Thank you. You two are really good cooks, super used to each other in the kitchen too. You guys cook a lot together usually? All the time. Dale stuffs his face with another bite of food. You two live together? Oh gosh, no. We work at the town's local diner. My father owns it, and he's how we got in contact to work here. How long have you two worked there? Practically my whole life, as soon as I was old enough to not burn myself on the stove. Plus, I started working my second year of high school. I started my second year of high school too, a few years after Dale. Needed some extra money to help pay for my cheerleading outfit, and the extra cash has been nice. You guys are going to school over in Echo? Is there a community college there? Nah, we're taking some time to work. Or hopefully find something better. Aw, I thought you liked working with me, Jan. Dale puts on a faux, pouty face. I do like working with you, big guy, but if I have to stare at your greasy muzzle my whole life in that hot kitchen, I'll lose my marbles. I'm going to school over in Peyton. It's a small city nearby, but it has more amenities than Old Echo. I'm starting at a private school next state over in the City of Angels. It's nice to see the younger folks planning out their lives. You're like 3 years older than us, dude. But I'm older, so that's what counts. He sticks his tongue out through his muzzle. Ha ha ha. We eat the rest of our food in relative peace. We all decide to help with the dishes, and the mass of bodies helps the task go by quickly. So, what's the plan for today? We're still on track to get everything done in time, and we can stick together like last night. Me and Dale will stay here. We have a few things to check out at Wickenburg's cabin first, though. Duke is going to help me out today. I'm back with Ernesto at our 2 sheds. I'll have enough time to finish near the boathouse. I didn't get a chance to check out the boathouse last night, but there isn't a lot on my list. Most of my duties are paws on with the kids. It should be easy with the 2 that I'm gonna go with for help. Sounds like a plan. We'll meet back here around 1 p.m. for lunch. Sounds good. We start to head out of the building. Janice walks up to me and hugs me on my side. We walk the rest of the way together. Our full group splits up from there, each heading to our respective sites to start work. Janice, Dale, and I make our way up the hill towards Wickenburg's cabin, saying goodbye to the other 2 groups as we pass them. What do you guys need from here? Well, looking to see if there's any other backup plans for no power. We'll be fine on that meat and other perishables for a few days, at least until the campers arrive. There should be enough for the group of counselors coming. But some of the other food will go bad. There's a heavy-duty fridge that'll keep at least until the end of the day, but we'll have to throw a lot of that away unless we find a workaround. So you're trying to find another gas freezer? Or a generator? Maybe we should check in with Miriam and Ernesto for that. The 2 look at each other for a quick second. We'll look into that after we take a look around the cabin. We make our way back inside Wickenburg's cabin, unlocking the door with a set of keys Ernesto let Janice borrow. I'll look down here. You and Jan check upstairs. Janice and I head to the 2nd floor while Dale stays below. We walk through the door closest to the stairwell. Piles of storage bin sit scattered around the floor, scraps of camping equipment strewn across the floor accompanying the mess. Janice goes to the nearest bin and starts rifling through the pages of old documents. Jan? She doesn't respond, only focusing more on her task. Janice, I don't think that there's going to be a refrigeration equipment in there. I tap my foot impatiently. Are you going to tell me what's really going on? It's pretty clear that you and Dale aren't looking for any cooking equipment right now. Janice puts down the stack of papers in her paw and turns to me. Don't you think that something is wrong? Besides you 2 sneaking around? Yes, besides that. I guess not everything is adding up. I know Dale's dad set this up for him and me, but don't you think that it's odd? Only people from Echo are here. Except for the wolf. Well, if they know Mr. Cooper, maybe they're from Echo, right? Miriam and Trishan's family are both pretty well known. But all that weird stuff happening on the way up here? Do you think Henry has anything to do with that? He didn't seem very concerned about all of it, about us telling him what happened, and he was quick to leave. He had to get to the nurse. At that point, why not just wait until the morning, though? I guess he needed her up here earlier than that? Then they'd be back by now. If something fishy is going on, do you think that it would be up here? Just in some stack of papers? If he wanted to hurt us, wouldn't he have done it by now? That's not what I said, Bronson. Then what are you saying, Jan? I kneel down onto the floor with her, sitting cross-legged next to the coyote. I don't understand, babe. I don't know why you're acting like this. I know things are confusing and scary, but this isn't adding up. Janice leans onto my shoulder, doing her best to stay quiet while she starts to cry. Because... She takes a deep breath. Because we did this. We did what? I cut myself off. I know what I've done. You and me didn't make the mountain bend into itself. We didn't cut the power, and we didn't make Henry not show up. No, but we invited it. We tried to run and it's catching up to us. What is catching up to us? Our sins. Janice. We didn't mean it. He was... Then we should have told somebody. I stopped trying to convince her, because I know that she's right. So, what should we do now? Do we go looking through all the director's things for something that talks about God smiting us down? That's not what I meant. Then what do you mean? I want something to make sense. Nothing has made sense since that night. Since I kissed you and held you and we made love. And in the back of that godforsaken van. You made me feel like me. But nothing is making me feel the same anymore. It's like I'm drowning. She pauses. How did you... Because it's all that I feel too. She surprises me with a kiss right on my cheek. She rubs my shoulder, giving me a warm look. You were right, Chip. I was? Yeah. About... We probably should have talked earlier. Janice leans in against me. I hold her in my arms. Then, let's talk now, yeah? Yeah, we should. The two of us sit in silence for a few minutes. How can I help you out, Jan? Just knowing that you're here. Knowing that you're not going to leave me. Why would I ever leave you? Well, you were talking about it for the war. I think that's different than what this is, right? Maybe. But if you wanted a way out... I quiet her with a kiss. The only thing that I want out of is Echo. I haven't left because you're there, babe. You're what I want. It feels hard to believe that sometimes. Why's that? Sometimes I worry that you're just with me because it's easy. Because it's what you're supposed to do. I was a cheerleader and you were the football player. Do you think that I don't love you? I know you do. But I'm afraid that you'll wake up one day and this was all fake. Or realize that it wasn't real love. Jan. There's nothing that you can do about how I feel though. I'm pretty sure that it's all in my head. That doesn't make it going away any easier though. I never knew that you felt that way. About me. It isn't about you, Bronson. It's about me and how I see things. Do you see a lot of things badly? No, at least I didn't used to. Is it because of the other night? No, but that didn't help. It's been happening for a while. It's so hard to even describe, let alone talk about. Can you tell me? I'm listening. I won't judge or make fun of you or nothing. It's how we were saying earlier, that everything just feels like nothing, empty. It's part of the reason that I wanted to use so much lately. I felt like myself again those times. I make sure to hold her tight in my paw. I get that. Everything is just more, well, real when we're like that. At least it feels that way. Like nothing can stop us. Like it's how we're supposed to be. God, we really are just junkies, huh? We were getting lost in it pretty bad for a while, yeah. That made it harder, to be honest. Waiting for the next hit. Waiting to feel alive again. We really should stop it all when it's all done, babe. We will. I promise. You know, it really hurt when you asked me for more. That morning after we left the diner. I know. I wanted to yell and scream. I almost felt like hitting something. Janice's eyes wash over in fear. Not you, Janice. Never you. But there was this rage in me, like something was wrong. Is it that feeling that you had? Like that drowning feeling since that night? Not at all. It was. It was like something else. This felt real. It felt natural, like I'm supposed to be that way. That's a scary thing to tell your girlfriend, Bronson. I know. It scared me too. I cried after. I never want to feel that way again. Then, why did you tell me about it? Because you deserve to know. I want you with me for the long haul, Adler. You should know everything about me. She takes the time to kiss me this time. Then we'll work on it together. Okay? Yeah, I would like that. I'll do it for you. Janice giggles, curling up into me. I'm happy to make you want to be better. I feel kinda selfish saying it though, like, because it only helps me. You're worth it though, Jan. I kiss her again. And I won't forget about how you're feeling. Yeah? Yeah, we'll work something out, okay? I would like that. When we get out of Echo, we'll both be better. We can find happiness in this world together, Adler. You and me. I lean down and kiss the top of her head, being careful not to mess up her head fur. The three of us make it back to the dining hall after that, then it's back to the kitchen. I start work on preparing lunch for the staff, while Janice and Dale start getting on preparing the kitchen to accommodate a mass amount of people. We worked a busy shift at the diner before, but it's completely different there. There won't be more than 200 people on site, but it's certainly more than the diner's max occupancy. We'll just have to make do for now. We busy ourselves with work until lunchtime. Everyone makes it back to the mess hall around the same time. Janice and Dale are in the back, reassuring everyone that they have it mostly prepared already as we settle down at the same table from earlier. It's so hot out today. Not as hot as Echo. Or even Pueblo, to be honest. Then why do I feel like I'm melting? Probably because you're actually working, let alone outside for once. Hey. Why don't we head down to the lake? If everyone else is done with their work, I still need to head down to the boathouse and make sure everything is accounted for. Once that's done, we can go to the dock and relax till later. That sounds like fun. There isn't much else that we can do without power, and I'm pretty sure everyone finished what they needed to. Me and Trisha just finished up, yeah. Miriam nods. Jan said that her and Dale are pretty much done with everything too. Sounds like a plan then. We can take a few coolers and maybe some more barbecue if the power is still out. Do you think that Henry will get mad if he catches us? Nah, he just wanted the work done. Maybe we can keep the weed and booze in our cabins though. Well, maybe just a can or two each. Already an alcoholic, Hendrix. It just helps me relax. Dale and Janice arrive with a platter of food before we can all start laughing too hard. What's this all about going somewhere? We were gonna go to the lake after lunch if you and Dale are all done. Everyone else is finished, so we decided that we should cool off. We're all done, yeah. Sounds like fun. No booze or weed though, in case Grumpy comes back. We'll just have to drink a couple of cans in our cabins before we go then. I never even thought about that before. We'll make a lush out of you yet. We finish with lunch and help Dale and Janice clean up before heading back to our cabins to change. Dale shuffles over to a corner to undress while Ernesto comes to talk with me as the four of us get ready. I'm still worried about the power. I tried making a phone call to report it to get it fixed, but the phone line is down too. Someone must have noticed by now then, right? Maybe that's where Henry is too. Just making sure that it's all taken care of too. I hope so. Maybe he's stuck in a road near a down power line or something. Maybe that's how we all got turned around. I don't think... Here's your beer, fags. Duke passes us each a can, his swinging with his insult. Hey, lardass. The weasel stops behind Dale. Left your beer on your bed for when you're done hiding your... I'm not. Before Dale can respond, the weasel rears his paw back and smacks Dale's admittedly fat ass. Hey! The weasel snickers as he makes his way back to his belongings. Me and Ernesto don't interject, the two of us choosing to just finish getting dressed instead. Dale shuffles back over to us once he's finished changing. Was that so difficult, Nutria? The wolf turns to Dale. It feels like more weight than being naked. Looks good on you. Ernesto makes a show of grabbing the bottom of Dale's stomach and gives it a firm shake in his paw. You're a well-fit businessman. Your survivability and genes are good for lasting the long winter. There's no longer cold winters in Echo. Then he's sure to survive and bring many offspring. He's not Mormon like Bronson is. Oh, you're Mormon? That certainly explains a lot. I'm not practicing, we know. If I was, then they might send me up to that compound up north. Having a compound sounds like it's a cult. I know. I can't exactly just move out of my house just yet, though. Maybe you'll get enough from this job? Yeah. Maybe. The door shakes as a long banging from it echoes throughout the small cabin. What the hell? Stop looking at each other's and let's go. We're waiting on y'all. How do we get dressed slower than a bunch of girls? Probably because you were looking at each other's, like she said. Stop being an ass and down your beer, everyone. I stab my can with a claw. Dale and Ernesto follow while Duke grabs his and makes it back to us, stabbing his in the process. To a summer that we won't forget. To summer. To the money from this job. To all my new friends. We crack open the tab and chug the beer from the sliced open holes. Sometimes being from a hick town has its simple pleasures. We all head all the way down to the hill and towards the creek. We pass the pier on the way to the boathouse, the others waiting for me as I finish my short task of ensuring everything was there. Satisfied, we head back towards the pier, ready to enjoy the summer sun, the cool water, and a light buzz. The girls lay out a few towels, Miriam opting to sunbathe for a bit on the wooden dock to warm up first. Trisha and Janice sit at the end of the pier, dipping their feet in as they chat amongst themselves, with an occasional interjection by Miriam. Duke jumps over the pier, splashing them with cold water as he hits the lake surface right in front of them. I ignore the few expletives, deciding to see what Ernesto and Dale are talking about in hushed tones. Is it true what they say about otters in water? Oh yeah, totally. Now I really gotta see it. Dale, you can't be telling non-aquatics about our secrets. Yes, of course we like to bang under the water. Oh, it wasn't a big one, just that you and I can float without any effort. Oh. Everyone can float without effort. But we can really float, let alone swim without effort, and how it's much easier for us to dive and swim in general. I heard that it was like watching a feral snake slither on land. It kinda is. We do a kinda wiggle thing. You guys should show me. I mean, it's just how we swim. There isn't anything to show. It does look kinda funny when I do it too. Dale grabs his stomach the same way Ernesto did earlier. With my good genes and all. Well, I haven't seen it before and it sounds cute. Cute. Let's just show him, Dale. Before you pop a boner. How deep should we go? We haven't been here before, but we should be able to go pretty deep. There's 2 otters here, so there's no way that one of us could drown. I grab Dale's paw, leading him to the end of the pier, opposite of Trisha and Janice. Let's just jump in together. Otters don't separate after all. He nods and takes a few steps back. We get a good running start and jump in together, slipping beneath the waves with barely a splash. We're swimming down into the cool water together in less than a second, our fur and rudders helping us glide down with ease. The water is clear and clean, much better than Lake Emma. I don't feel like I'm gonna get tetanus if I touch the bottom of the lake. We're far from the shore in just a few seconds, swimming paw and paw. We're already 10 feet down, a sharp drop off from the edge of the lake. Down a bit further, the rest of the body of water opens up to us, light barely filtering down as we hit 20 feet down from the surface and much further from the shore. Rainbow and brown trout swim past us. I have to suppress the natural urge to grab a bite out of them. Just a few more seconds and we're 30 feet down, the open part of the lake in front of us. It's not too insanely deep, probably no more than 50 feet deep. The water pressure would have changed unless we're at the absolute deepest parts, and from there we can push off the bottom and find the surface easily. Not that we'll need to for a while. I look back, pulling Dale back by his paw to remind him that we should get our bearings before going any deeper. The shape of the dock is distinct, and there's almost no way that the others could see us, even with their heads under the water, our eyes a bit different than theirs. Dale takes the opportunity to spin me back around, pulling me under a few feet and floating on top of me, his form blocking out the surface from my view. I don't stop him as both of his paws grip the side of my face, holding my head steady, directly facing it towards him. He pushes his snout against mine and kisses me. I open up to him, our mouths interlocking to form a seal as his tongue crosses the threshold under the water. My heart is racing, my cheeks burning, my hard in my Speedo. I don't know why I let him do it, why I meet him back with my tongue, and why it feels so good to kiss him so deeply. We haven't done this before, on land or underwater. But it feels so right, and he's licking every inch of my mouth over my sharp teeth and my tongue and nearly down my throat as we float there together. His rubs against my leg and I hold onto him tightly, lost in the moment. We stay like that for just a little bit longer before breaking away, a smile clear on his face. Why? I sign to him under the water. Isn't it beautiful? He signs back. Me? The lake. He grabs me by the paw and motions towards the expanse. He looks up and sees the light filtering down, and I notice how it catches on his snout, and how being here with my best friend, even with what we just did, and how it all feels so natural, so right. I take it all in for just a bit longer. The both of us head to the surface, not bothering to swim back to the pier just yet. We breach the water together, taking in a deep breath. The both of us could have held it for much longer, but I didn't want to scare Janice too much. You assholes, I hate it when you do that and disappear for so long. She shouts clear as day from the pier. We weren't even gone for that long. But you two don't know the water like Lake Emma. We know it better than Lake Emma. Yeah, it's crystal clear. We can see almost the whole thing. There's tons of trout too. We might not have to eat the canned stuff the whole time. I can't see Janice roll her eyes from this distance, but I can feel it. The group talks amongst themselves quieter than we can hear. Race you back? You know it. Hey Ernesto, we're gonna swim back now if you want to see. I make sure to shout it. I can't hear his reply, but his tail goes straight up as he heads to the edge of the pier and focuses all of his attention on us. On 3. 1, 2, 3. We take off together, racing towards the pier. The group cheers us on, jeers and shouts of encouragement rushing past as we race towards the pier. Gliding over the water is easier than running, but Dale has more practice than me in the water despite his size. I didn't always have the time to swim as much as I should have after work, but Dale almost always made time to get a few laps in after a shift at the diner. Those early morning swims made him smoother in the cold lake water too. I'm almost out of breath in the short time that it takes to get to the pier. Going my full speed takes a lot more out of me than casual swimming. I reach a paw out, ready to grab onto the ledge and claim victory, but by the time that I hit the edge, Dale is already pulling himself out of the water, having made it a few seconds before me. Good job, Dale. Yeah, nice one, fat ass. Dale pants as he tries to gather his breath. Ernesto helps me up, his tail wagging almost violently. You guys are so fast. That was so fun. Janice pats my back a few times as I also struggle to catch my breath. You're not built for sprints, babe. You gotta pace yourself better. It was a race. I managed to eke out between deep breaths. Should have made it a longer race. Should you guys be doing that on a buzz? Miriam chimes in from her sunbathing position. Probably not. Dale says as he walks off, starting to spin from the exhaustion and alcohol. A small wave of nausea hits me as I realize that he's definitely correct. Dale breaks away from the small crowd of spectators and stumbles a bit before making it to the edge of the pier. Ernesto goes to grab him, trying to stop him from falling in, but Dale jumps backwards at the last second, falling into the water. Oh my god! Ernesto goes to jump into the water after Dale. He's fine. What? How do you know? He didn't make a splash when he dived in. It was on purpose. That... I can't hear the rest as I dive off into the pier, back into the water. I spin as soon as I enter and let myself float up. Dale passes me as he swims back up, arms gliding through the water like there was nothing there. We surface at the same time, the two of us laid on our backs, tail to head on the surface. Relaxing otter time. Relaxing otter time. What the fuck is relaxing otter time? They're tired because they're both out of shape. They'll be floating and relaxing on the waves. Is that safe? As safe as me on this dock. Ernesto gives up, opting to dive into the water, Duke joining him a few seconds later. The wolf surfaces as me and Dale float together. Oh damn, you can't touch the bottom here already. Yeah, we're near the boat pier. It might be a bit better near a shoreline. I don't mind. I'm a good swimmer, but it's just a little scary. Don't worry, the lifeguard is on duty. I point a thumb towards my chest. I'll keep you safe, wolf. His tail wags underneath the water. You ladies should come into the water. It's great. I'll be there in a bit. I don't want to mess up my wool with the dirty water. I don't want to redo my makeup either. It's cleaner than Echo, much better for the fur. Why are you wearing makeup anyway, Jan? Because I'd rather die than go out in public without it. But fine. Janice pushes Trisha into the water from off the side of the pier. The sheep goes under with a loud splash. Janice joins her a second later, jumping in as soon as Trisha surfaces. My wool! Ruined, like my makeup. The two splash each other as Duke and Ernesto watch, laughing at the pair. I close my eyes, the warmth and light from the sun tanning my vision in a soft orange through the eyelids. To summer. I say it under my breath. I enjoy the rest of the summer day to its fullest with my friends. We enjoy the water together for a few hours. Miriam joins us in the water eventually but has to sunbathe to warm back up after a bit. The booze starts to wear off and I wish for nothing more than maybe a couple more to really unwind, but it's fair enough of a trade-off not having to worry about life for just a few hours. Janice and Trisha use Dale as a floaty, Ernesto opting to use me once, or twice too. The sun eventually starts to crest behind the mountaintop and the temperature starts to drop. The others exit the water, shaking down their fur as I swim up to the edge of the dock. I pull myself up to the ledge too, the water falling effortlessly off my fur. Dale and I are mostly dry by the time that we walk to the end of the dock, the others shaking out incessantly. Ernesto warns the rest of us to stay away as he shakes off giant globs of water near the end of the pier. He jogs back to catch up with the rest of us as we head towards the showers to rinse off the lake water. Do you think Henry is back? He probably would have come back looking for us if he was. He could also be helping the nurse set up if he was back. He would have to come looking for me then. What should we do if we're alone again? We could finish off the booze and weed. Probably shouldn't tempt ourselves with the counselors or campers around, especially if one of the little shits finds our stash. If he's not back tomorrow, we need to send someone down the mountain at the very least, see what's wrong to get help for us. I'm not sure if I have enough gas. There's some jerry cans up here, but they might be bad. I'll go on my motorcycle then. Better mileage and it'll hold better with some semi-expired gas. Don't go alone, Ernesto. It's not safe. I don't think that we have a choice after tomorrow. The counselors are coming tomorrow and we don't know what we're doing. We should still get our money, but we need to make sure that no one else is going to get hurt. No one is hurt yet. And I'm going to keep it that way. Duke, I need to just get this shit out of my fur. The weasel shakes his arms as the water falls out of it. Let's get the bonfire going again and get high and drink with some barbecue. We can figure out the rest tomorrow if he's still not back by after breakfast. Sounds like a good plan to me. I'm not sure that we should again. Let's at least go check the parking lot. Ugh, Chip, you're such a stick in the mud sometimes. Janice, this is serious. She rolls her eyes at me. That's probably a good first step. We check the parking lot instead of heading directly to the staff showers. He's not back yet. At least our cars are here. We make it back to the showers, Ernesto and Duke not fighting about it this time. Duke's the first one to undress, holding his trunks up to the stream to help rinse them. I think you really only need to do that with seawater. And that is why I don't smell all the time. Ernesto removes his trunks, doing the same. You smell worse than those two, Weasel. You're just addicted to otter ass. Duke's tone is lighter than his usual arguments. You're just mad that I could get some ass here if I wanted. Faggot ass isn't the same as pussy. Ass is ass. You're just jealous that you're not getting any. With who? The town's mom or the town's nerd? Their genes are also strong, good for home building and endurance. No thanks. I'm not a fan of fat girls. Duke looks towards Dale. Do you find fat chicks hotter because you're fat, Dale? What? Yeah, I like skinny hot chicks because I'm a weasel. Duke pats his flat stomach a few times. And Ernesto likes faggots because he's a faggot. It's just because you don't like girls with some meat on them. And Chip likes uppity girls with a complex because he's got something up his ass all the time. Aren't you dating Rachel? Duke ignores me completely. So, do you like fat chicks, Dale? It doesn't seem like the smartest conversation right now, Duke. And why not? Dale points towards the gap in the dividing wall. Well, I'm fucked. Duke turns off his shower head and wrings out his fur, walking towards the lockers. The rest of us finish washing in silence. We wind up back at the bonfire, Ernesto and Miriam getting the fire going as Duke sits icing his face. I didn't know a sheep could slap that hard. You knew Janice could. I did know Janice could. Janice walks back from the cooler, ignoring Duke and sitting next to me. She passes the beer to Trisha, hers open already. Uppity? Huh? Janice glares daggers at me. I didn't say it, babe. Duke did. She ignores me, turning her attention towards Trisha. Did that conditioner help with your wool, Trisha? Yeah, the water is definitely a lot better than Lake Emma too. Thank you, Janice. The girls smile at each other, talking about their head fur to the point that I zone out of the conversation almost instantly. Miriam and Ernesto light the fire a second after I turn my head from the pair of girls. Let's get these weenies roasted. Did you get? Yes, we got the veggie weenies. Thank you. Miriam and Ernesto head off to grab the protein as Dale lumbers back up from the cabin, joint in paw. Perfect timing. He takes a long toke, holding it in for a few seconds before exhaling. You guys want some? Everyone except Trisha passes it around, taking a long drag. It makes it around the semicircle a few times before Miriam and Ernesto make it back. They take a few drags themselves as the food is set up. Janice pulls on my arm and motions with her head. I pick up my can of beer and follow after, heading towards her cabin. You better not him on my bed, girl. A few whistles and cheers sound out from the fire pit. We're not doing that. I have no idea why Janice is pulling me to the side like this. She ignores them, taking me behind the cabin so that we're out of earshot and out of sight of the rest of the group. I place a paw on the side of her face, her eyes glassy. She sighs, looking away without saying anything. I love you, Bronson. Huh? I love you too, Adler. She snickers, and I muzzle her cheek. What's wrong? I'm just tired, aching, cold, a little sick. Me too. It's harder than I thought that it was gonna be, really. It's for the best. I know. She hugs me then, wrapping her arms around my torso and resting her face on my chest. I lay my head on top of hers and stroke the back of her head with one paw and her back with the other. I got you, baby. I got you. She squeezes me tight. I love you so much, Chip. I squeeze back. I love you too, Jan. She lets out a few sobs into my shoulder. I just want to be better. We'll get there. It's hard. It helps, you know? What does? Having you here with me. Same. I pat her head for a couple of times. Try some more of the weed. It takes the shakes off. Yeah, I will. She sniffles a few times. I offer her the sleeve of my shirt to clean up on. Thank you for putting up with everything. Oh, Janice, I'm not putting up with anything. I lean down to kiss her on her snout. You're my girl. I'm going through the same shit too. We're just being strong together is all. This doesn't feel strong. I kiss her again, deeper this time. She lets my tongue into her mouth. Wanting to be better is strong. Talking to me is strong. Another kiss on her snout. We'll get through this, together. Together. She kisses me this time, opening up her mouth for me to reach inside. She's as sweet as the first time. Let's head back to the others, yeah? Yeah, let's head back. I pick her up in my arms, carrying her bridal style, and I make my way back to the group. Duke and Ernesto cheer me on as I sit in the chair, Miriam laughing along. Another round of the doobie, yeah? The group cheers in unison. We drink and party late into the night, finishing off the rest of everyone's alcohol and almost all of the weed. I stumble back to the cabin, Dill practically carrying me on his shoulder as we stumble into our cots. I'm not sure if Ernesto or Duke are there as my best friend tucks me into bed, his speech too slurred for me to understand. I close my eyes. The warmth in my chest makes me feel safe and secure. And that's where I'm going to leave it for today. So, as was probably obvious, Chip, or more so Dale, is being a little bit more brazen with Chip. And I mean, it was kind of obvious at the beginning of the story that Dale had a thing for Chip. And in certain conversations, I think, was it in the... Well, yeah, in the Janice route, because that's the only other one that I've done so far. Dale makes an off comment saying, like, sometimes he feels like he's being used, and Chip doesn't get it because, you know, it's like, what are you talking about? But in this one, it's more obvious that he meant, like, that he feels like he's being emotionally used or something like that. Meaning that, like, oh, when Janice isn't feeling it, then I'm just gonna go to Dale. But, like, now, I guess Dale feels reciprocated, meaning that Chip isn't just using him for something, now it's full on, you know? Because he went in for the kiss underwater, and Chip reciprocated. He didn't stop him or anything. So I'm pretty sure that Dale at this point is now feeling like, maybe we can go further. Maybe me and my friend can finally explore a little or something like that, because even when they spend time together, it's like, it's a little borderline, you two. Like, are you two? Like, And surprisingly, they haven't. But now, who knows? Anywho, as you also know though, past this point is when things are gonna hit the fan, so like, yeah. Enjoy it while it lasts, Dale. Hopefully it doesn't end as badly as it did for you in the Janice round. I'm actually surprised though that... Actually, no. You can see sort of little things here and there that do change. Certain conversations, certain things that are said a little differently. The conversation between Chip and Janice goes a little differently than it did when they're talking in Wickenburg's cabin. Instead of it leading to something, it's more them talking it out more. Which on its face is good. I mean, because communication is good in a relationship, but like we know that may not last, at least in this route. Especially considering how homophobic Janice is, and the things that she said in her route. It's like, wow, lady, my God. But yeah, so we can probably expect a little bit of that too in the coming 2 videos. Probably it's probably going to be 2 videos again. I did sort of skim it, and certain scenes do turn out differently. So yeah, you know, it's not going to be again more of the same. It's going to be a little bit different. But yeah. Anywho, so what are your thoughts so far? Write it down in the comments, and thank you all for watching / listening. If you would like to play Camp Ash yourself or stay up to date with what's going on with it, you can do so by going down to the link in the description, which should have a direct link for the itch.io page. And of course, they do not have any form of support. If any support, maybe for the writer themselves, just the writer, shows up, then maybe I will post that down in the description, but for now, there is nothing of that nature. So yeah. If you would like to support the channel, though, and support me, you can become a channel member, which, you know, you should see the little thingy down on the left-hand side of the video if you're watching it on desktop. If you're on mobile, it should be there too, I think. If not, then it'll be down in the description as well to become a channel member. It lets you watch these videos a little bit ahead of time, usually around 2 weeks in advance. So yeah, you know, these videos are scheduled, so like that's how people watch them in advance. And it does help support me, and I do really appreciate it. Like right now, my computer keeps blue screening, and it turns out that it's memory management, which means that I have to buy new RAM for it, unfortunately. And it's expensive, especially with how things are going in the world. But it was because it was thanks to you guys, the channel members, that I was able to afford it. But it was expensive. Anyways, but yeah, so yeah. If you can support through channel memberships, you can also do Ko-fi, you know. It's there. Also Throne, you know. If you're feeling ever so generous, I do have a Throne, you know, I have stuff on there that I would like. Maybe I should like start putting other stuff like on there. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I guess that's it for now. And I will see you guys in the next part. Bye-bye.